Most people assume that the benefit of being happy is actually just feeling good. And they're correct. Being happy feels great, right? But did you also know that your happiness level, the higher they are, the more advantages you have to getting basically anything you want in life? I'm talking anything. So in this video, I'm going to break down for you what those advantages are and some ideas about how you can raise your own happiness level today. FYI, guys, I just have to tell you that what I'm about to tell you today, I've discovered almost completely by accident. I was one of those people who were always dissatisfied with life, Like I would get something and I'd be like, oh, that's almost good enough, but not quite. So the next thing, if I get the next thing, then I'll be happy. Then the next thing, then I'll be happy. So I was like perpetually pursuing happiness by trying to get something else or get somewhere else. Here's a good example of how my perpetual discontent played out. Okay, so I'm a comedian, right? So like most comedians, I started at open mics and dive bars. In the beginning stages of your comedy career, you'll literally play anywhere. Like I played laundromats, I played subways, all the restaurants and subways, like on the train. Like I would have to hold the pole while I was yelling really loudly my jokes to people who weren't there for it. I played senior homes where none of the seniors came voluntarily. So literally they wheeled people in from the memory floor. And I was like, great, if I really bomb, we can all pretend like this never happened. One time I played a strip club where I took my bisexual boyfriend at the time and he started gawking at all the women and I started getting jealous of the women. I'm like, how am I supposed to compete with that girl on a pole who was like clearly a finalist for Cirque du Soleil? I was like, what has she got that I don't? Oh, that's right. After a little while of that, you start getting discouraged and I was like, all right, I want to advance my comedy career and I want to move forward. I would say it's pretty easy to get discouraged if you're playing to Alzheimer patients and they start heckling you with questions like, did your dad fight in the Vietnam War? Or I didn't know that Bruce Jenner was going to be joining us today. So I decided that in order for me to feel satisfied with my comedy career, I would have to become a paid regular at a major comedy club in Los Angeles. And I did just that. In fact, they gave me my own show. It's an LGBT themed show called Rainbow Pop. Do you like the title? Me too. I love the title. So you know what they actually wanted to call it? Much better than what the booker at the time wanted to call it. Thank God he got fired after 2 months. He told me he wanted to call it, get this you guys, Rainbow Trout Theater. To which I was like, you mean like fishy lesbians? And then he was like, okay, fine. How about we call it Crossing Swords and Bumping Donuts? I was like, I am not calling my LGBT show Crossing Swords and Bumping Donuts, okay? And this was coming from a straight white guy. But I digress. I got the title of the show that I wanted, Rainbow Pop, and then we moved forward with the show. And, very quickly, I started feeling discontent because hey, like I may be a paid regular at the show, but it's not like I was on TV or anything, so it's not like I really mattered. And I decided, okay, in order for me to feel happy, I would have to get on TV. So then I tried getting on TV and I actually did get on TV with my one line. The actual line was, sir, you can't be in here. And I had to audition for this role and they put me in a hazmat suit. And so you couldn't see my face. So I did get on TV, but I was in a hazmat suit and you couldn't recognize me and I had to audition for this role for Kingdom on Hulu. Then my goal was to get on TV in a way that I would be seen. So then I got on TV in a way that I could be seen, and then I was sitting next to, series regulars, and I was just like, wow, I really am still nobody because they might see me, but I'm not a series regular like these guys, and so does it really matter? And then I started talking to the series regulars, and I was talking to them about like what it was like for them to be a series regular. And literally the guy was like, man, this is just what I do for money, what I really want to do is be in movies. And I thought to myself, wow, this is never going to end, is it? It's just never going to end. There's always going to be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Oh my God, can't do this. But see, here was the problem. Like, it wasn't just my career that I stood in discontent about. It was also, my weight. If I lost the 10 pounds, then I would be adequate. If I, got a boyfriend, then I would be adequate. If I got Botox, then I would be adequate. I have these very strong 11 lines right here. I was living in this way until my boyfriend, Michael James, who I loved very, very much, passed away from cancer. It's like I literally got ghosted. I say that joke in honor of him, by the way, because he would have loved that joke. He really, really would have. He had such a great sense of humor, and he loved me so much, and I loved him so much, and we were just, so in love. And I'm very, very lucky to have had the kind of love I had with him, And also, here's the other thing that bothers me about that situation. Because I'm a younger Gaysian and he's, an older white guy, people assumed he was my sugar daddy. And I would like to say, if you're thinking that, that's so not true. If he was my sugar daddy, then clearly I was on a low carb diet, all right? You could call him keto daddy. When I lost him, I was like, hey, nothing matters. I don't care. Comedy career, why? Losing 10 pounds? Who cares? I don't care. I really don't care. I got so depressed, I got suicidal. I was serious. I went shopping for a gun. And you guys, I actually found the gun that I could buy in person for $300. And then I found the gun online for $70. And I thought to myself, oh my God. How is it that someone can just buy a gun online for $70? When in person, it's like $300. Oh my God, what a freaking ripoff. That's when I came to the realization that, oh my God, I am so cheap. I am bargain hunting for my suicide weapon. I mean, it's not even that I wanted to, save money. It's like I didn't want anybody to think I was an idiot. I may be suicidal, but I'm a smart shopper. But it's so stupid because, if there was ever a time to put something on a credit card, that would have been it. I understand you're not really supposed to make suicide jokes, but I say these things to say that yes, I have been there, and after I've been through it, there is some humor in it. Another reason why I like to talk about suicide very openly is because in this society, we're not allowed to talk about things like that. And so what a lot of people do is they'll feel suicidal, and then they won't talk about it. They'll just shove it down because they don't want to interrupt anybody's day. And then it feels worse and worse and festers, and then there's shame around what they're feeling. And shame, is the great negative emotion great negative emotion multiplier. So if you feel any emotion and then you add shame to it, it'll multiply that negative emotion by 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. So better to get it out in the open and destigmatize the topic of suicide. Suicidal? Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Whatever you're feeling, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Do not be suffering alone. Do not be ashamed by yourself. Let it out. Share it with somebody. Also, I would like to point out while we're on the topic, Chipper Aidan, that sounds like SpongeBob SquarePants when he laughs. Ha 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 ha. I still struggle. I still wake up sometimes and I think about Michael and I'm just like, why do I have to be here? It's totally normal. And so I would just like to get that out in the open. No one's perfect. We're all on a journey. So if you are experiencing negative emotions, I just want you to know it's okay. If you want a deeper understanding about how to manage emotional pain, check out my blog post on emotional pain. The link should be right there. And that way you can feel like you're less alone in your pain. There's nothing quite like feeling pain and then feeling like you're completely alone in your pain. That is the worst feeling in the world. And pain actually by design is designed to make you feel like you're all alone in your pain. And also it's designed to make you feel like it's gonna last forever. Neither of which is true. So go check out my blog post on pain, okay? Well, I decided not to kill myself, and thank God I didn't, because I love my life now. But, at that point when I decided that I wanted to stay alive, I said this to myself. I was like, listen, I'll stay. I'm not gonna kill myself, but tell you something. If I'm gonna stay, I'm going to make damn sure I'm gonna stay feeling better than the way I'm feeling right now, okay? I can't live with this level of intense negative emotion. I just won't do it. I just won't do it. I just refuse. So I put my singular focus on how I can feel better. So I started researching happiness and I started going after how to be happier. The first way I tried to be happier was to try to fix the external events, right? Like, so make more money. I know Michael had just died, but I was like, okay, well, maybe if I get a new boyfriend, I don't know. So like I tried to fix the outside and I failed spectacularly. And I cover all of this in my book, The Art of Being Yay, which you can buy a copy of on my website, aidanpark.com. So once I realized that fixing the external circumstances wasn't gonna work to make me happier, I decided to take a different approach, inside out. I started looking at my own mental patterns and managing those. I started looking at the way I looked at the world and managing those, and creating new patterns and new habits to raise my happiness level from the inside out. And let me tell you, it worked. Interestingly enough, this is what happened. Once I started raising my happiness set point, I realized moment to moment, I was actually happier moment to moment now after Michael had died than before when Michael was alive, right? Because when Michael was alive, I would go on rackets about, I don't have a career, I don't have that, like all of this same story narrative that just kept repeating and repeating and repeating, and it kept me at a happiness level of maybe 5, even with Michael being there. Now that whole drama is not there as much, and so my happiness set point without Michael is at a 7. So there's a difference there. But it's literally a moment-to-moment experiential thing. But it doesn't mean that I don't make visits to the depths of hell, you know what I mean? I could be at a 777 and then all of a sudden something will happen and I'll miss Michael and there I go, dipping back down to a 2. And that's okay. That's a part of the process. But you want to work on your mental and emotional set point so that you can be at a regular set point of 7. Do you see what I'm saying? You want to raise your internal set point. But what I realized was you can be in terrible, terrible grief and be happier at the same time. It's a pretty amazing discovery. Like, I could be crying about Michael, but somehow enjoying my crying about Michael, like as a moment that is beautiful. It's kind of strange. But here's the real magic, right? Do you remember how earlier I was like, well, I was trying to lose 10 pounds and I was trying to move my career forward, da-da-da-da-da-da. Paradoxically, once I actually did get happier and my energy became at a higher vibration, right? All of those things started just happening. I lost the 10 pounds. I got asked to write a book. I've been on TV more times than I ever was before, I made friends faster. All these guys wanted to date me. Like, I don't know. It just started happening. I mean, I still need Botox, but you can't have everything. Why was this the case? I'm happier, so I get better things. Like, why? Is it because of the law of attraction? Maybe that has something to do with it, but I actually think there are 2 reasons why. Number 1, when you're happier, you're more optimistic, and so you're more able to take chances. You think, hey, this could work out, so you make the jump. Like, for example, writing my book, right? So before, I might be like, no one's gonna read it. But because I feel happier and more confident, I'll be like, well, may as well do it. Other people write books all the time and, they make it work. Also, because my confidence level was higher, people trusted me with more responsibility, Like, say you're, running a store. You're not gonna wanna hire a sales clerk who's like, I don't know that I could sell. But if somebody walks in, it's like, yeah, I'm a good salesperson and I've delivered results and I'm confident in my ability to deliver. You're gonna hire that guy. So if I'm happier, then I have more confidence. And when I have more confidence, people look at you and go, like they trust you more with more responsibilities and will want to work with you more because you are now presenting somebody who is trustworthy and confident. The goal, present confidence, right? But the real way to present confidence is raise your happiness level. Raise your happiness level, then you can be happy, then the confidence just comes. Don't put on a confident act and walk around like you're confident. Raise your happiness level. It's the simplest, most effective, and most joyful way to be, honestly. My theory is also backed by science. There's a book called Happiness Advantage by Shawn, Achor, and he is a Harvard professor. So if you want to take your word from that guy, he's available. He studies happiness, and you do get severe, very great advantages by approaching things from a happier standpoint. So to sum it up, if you are happier, not only will you feel better, you will have big advantages to every challenge that you want to pursue from here on out. The things that you want will fall into place easier because you will exude more confidence, more people will want to work with you, you'll take more chances, and you miss 100 of the swings that you don't actually take. So this will, the higher level of happiness will allow you to take more chances and get better results for your life. So now you might be like, all right, Aidan, you sold me. How can I be happier? I would check out my blog post on emotional momentum to figure out how that works. I would also take a look at my post on how not to be happier. There's a whole post on that, and there's also a post on reticular activating system, which is a part of your brain, and if you understand that part of your brain, you will be able to utilize it and hack it so that you can get the most bang for your buck as far as going after happy. There's also other posts. For practical success advice, you can read my success principles and join my mailing list. I will send you a free values worksheet in which you can figure out which values are important to you, and you can line yourself up with values that are important to you and live your life that way to create the maximum amount of happiness in your world and really create that life that you want. Okay? So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.